Welcome to Following On after the first day of the fifth Test match between England and India here at the Kia Oval. It was a rain-interrupted day. We did get 64 overs in though, and India managed to crawl their way to 204 for 6. Crawl may be unkind. They were asked to bat first by England, as every preceding team has in the last 21 first-class games and Test matches here at the Oval. It's absolutely a bowl first pitch or conditions, but primarily I think that means it's a bat last set of conditions. And Jon Norman's alongside me to look back at England's performance. Gus Atkinson was outstanding, but the other three seamers were rather less than that. Josh Tongue, back in the Test team, was a little bit... Well, he was wayward. He was all over the place. He bowled two of the best balls of the day and a dozen of the worst. Atkinson finishing with 2 for 31, also effecting an excellent run out to get rid of captain Shubman Gill off his own bowling. It was a brilliant reaction, pick up and throw down. Tongue finished with 2 for 47. It could have been 5 for 15. It could have been none for 100. He was absolutely all over the place. But as I said, he bowled some outstanding deliveries. And the other story of the day, Chris Woakes, who was also a wicket taker, 1 for 46, injuring his shoulder, his left shoulder, in a boundary fielding incident that saw him save 2 runs. But here, worst case scenario, if it's dislocated, John, he could have saved 2 runs and ended this Test match and possibly his career. So that's the overall impression. We won't know how good that score is until England come to bat, but there is grass on it. There was bounce, not necessarily pace, but there was seam movement. There was a bit of everything that we haven't really seen in the first 4 Test matches. So overall, 204 for 6, with 2 batsmen still at the crease. Karun Nair unbeaten on 50. Washington Sundar, the man in form. It was all set to be England's day, and somehow it doesn't feel that way.
No, and the reason is for that injury, isn't it? It took place just there, just behind us, and it was at 7 o'clock. So there was half an hour of the day's play to go. It felt like there was still a couple more wickets in the offing, and then that Chris Woakes injury, just England were deflated, understandably, couldn't bowl, and now question marks over his test, and he's 36 and it looked horrible, so we are obviously going to be thinking about him a lot, but also from a pure game perspective, suddenly England have only got 3 seamers and Jacob Bethel actually nearly picked up a wicket, right? But 3 seamers now, and they need to take 14 wickets, and of course Jacob Bethel. So if Karun Nair, who again I thought set up really well today, and Washington Sundar, who we know all about, suddenly India will think, well, 250 isn't possibly the worst result on this pitch, which was sporting. But as you said, Manners, I thought Gus Atkinson bowled some beautifully today. Really did. He was almost impossible to get away. He more than deserved his wickets, and of course he affected that run out. Josh Tongue, I mean, you almost want him in the side because it doesn't really matter if he's bowling all over the wicket. If he can bowl the kind of dismissals which we saw that got rid of Siddharthan and Ravindra Jadeja today. But let's not forget, he did the same thing. Karun Nair, when he was set in the second Test, he can just bowl these deliveries out of nowhere. And I don't think there's anything worse in cricket than not knowing where the ball's going to go, right? So it was really strange from him. Woakes, unfortunately, I think he picked up a wicket thanks to Atkinson's spell that was just preceded him, because KL Rahul couldn't get the ball away. Nobody could get the ball away. Woakes came in, and finally it felt KL Rahul that, and he has been out this way before, he thought, there's a scoring shot there. I think a little assist to Gus Atkinson for that Chris Woakes wicket. But in and amongst that, Jamie Overton, I thought, you look at those figures, I think Jamie Overton deserves Josh Tongue's figures, and Josh Tongue deserves Jamie Overton's figures.
Yeah.
Don't be put off by either of those figures. Neither set of figures tell the tale. Jamie Overton extracted more swing movement than any bowler from either side throughout the entire Test series.
It cost him 20 runs.
It cost him runs, but boy oh boy, he was almost unplayable at times. On another day, he takes a couple. He celebrated 2. didn't he?
Yeah.
Thought he was up, hey, wheeling away, the aeroplane. Oh, nobody's joining in. So I thought England didn't bowl brilliantly, but they didn't need to. But boy, oh boy, do India need to bowl brilliantly tomorrow, because they've got 3 seamers on a pitch Ben Stokes said you have to have 4. And I don't think they're going to get the help that England got today. So they cannot afford any of their 3 fast bowlers to slip up. And they're going to be asking for England to do England's batting, which goes down to 9, even if Chris Woakes doesn't play. So 250, all day people were saying 240, 250 is an okay score here, because the conditions were so stunted in favour of the bowlers. But will they be tomorrow? I don't think they will, so I don't even think 250 is a decent score. Or it's going to be a pass score in second innings.
I tell you what is really interesting is how England approached this. Now they've I won't say abandoned Bazball, but they've severely curtailed it and adapted it to fit in with the conditions. As Harmy says, Steve Harmison says, the pitches have been their kryptonite. But I think that England's approach would have been very different if they'd been batting today. It's one of its conditions, wasn't it? It was a green pitch, 12 mils of live grass on it, heavy grey skies overhead. It just felt like a bowling morning, and I just think Ben Duckett in particular and Harry Brook and maybe even Joe Root, we've gone out there on the basis that you can't grind your way through this, and India tried to survive, tried to grind their way through it. And if England do, so let's say India do manage to make 250 tomorrow, and England decide that there's enough pace and bounce in order to play shots and hit through the line and trust conditions, and they get off to a flying start, then India could find themselves under real pressure. But they might then say, well, hang on a minute, they've only got 3 seamers. The 2 spinners aren't going to do very much. Let's wear them down. Mohammad Siraj has already bowled 1,000 overs. Prasid Krishnan is coming in. His confidence can't be particularly high after the mauling he got at Headingley. So, would England adapt again and say, you know what, let's put 40 overs, 50 overs in their legs, and then see where we are, and then try and take control of the game?
I just think that India bowled too many 4 balls.
Right.
They've just not been consistent enough at any stage of this series, and there's no Bumrah, so it's not even like England have to be, okay, well, let's just see off Bumrah and then we'll cash in because whoever's coming in. I mean, Akashdeep looked terrific in that first Test match, and then was completely anonymous at Lord's and wasn't missed at Old Trafford. Krishna is expensive yet wicket-taking from what we've seen. I've got a horrible feeling that this is not the pitch for him, but I might be completely wrong on that. And as you say, Siraj has just bowled 1,000 overs. So I don't even think England really need to go out there with a mindset of, we're not the Bazball freewheeling Harlem Globetrotters of 2022 anymore. Let's sit on these guys and just pick them off as they go. They will just be able to pick them off. And that's what I mean. They're going to have to bowl really well, and you can't be dropping catches as well. So I think first things first, India need to get up to 250, 275. There needs to be some cloud cover, and essentially they need to bowl supremely well. If they do that, then maybe they can restrict England to 350. I think already they're looking at giving up a first innings lead on this track. I just can't see conditions being as friendly to India, and they don't have the depth of bowling, and they don't have bowlers who are familiar with these conditions. There is one other thing as well. When England aren't looking threatening, they're not going for runs. Chris Woakes has not looked threatening outside of the new ball, but he has not gone for runs, like 4, 5 and over. He's still going at an economy of 3. Josh Tongue looked wretched at times today, but he was bowling so crazy wayward, he still wasn't really going for runs.
He's surprising them with the straight one, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And then there was Overton, who I thought was really unlucky today. He did go for runs, but almost because he bowled too well. I've had this story quite a lot in this series, but bowlers bowling too well. And then there's Atkinson. So, but here is, for me, what was the key yesterday, when we spoke pretty much here yesterday. It's what happens if England don't take wickets with the new ball. That was always going to be the problem for England. It did not happen today because, of course, they did take wickets consistently. Can India almost play this game with second innings in mind? Which is weird, But essentially, they know that Woakes probably won't be bowling. If you factor in that Jacob Bethel will have to bowl and should be more manageable, certainly be easier than what we saw today, and the fact that Overton and Tongue have not played a lot of cricket, nor's Atkinson, it's almost like we've got to just stay in the game. Stay in the game, and second innings, it may come back our way. But a lot has got to go right before that can happen, because England get a lead of 150, then the game could well be gone.
Well, it will with India's approach. Probably they won't quite believe that they have England's ability to bounce back. One thing that is a common strategy when an opposition has three seamers is to target one of them, because look, Surrey don't even play frontline spinners here. They've got two part-timers, haven't they? Dan Lawrence and Will Jacks, who aren't really frontline spinners. Dan Lawrence certainly isn't. But so India have got three seamers, and if England do decide to take one of them down, that possibly, either Akashdeep or Prasid Krishna, I think they'll respect Mohammad Siraj, then that could change the dynamic quite profoundly, I would imagine. My big fear, John, it sounds like a trivial thing, but let's say that we've got Washington Sundar and Karun Nair at the crease at the moment, both of whom are fine players. Really lovely story for Karun Nair, out of Test cricket for 8 years, came back for 2 tests, actually looked pretty good. He's been out of the international game for 8 years, made a couple of 30s and a 40, and then got dropped. You're allowed to make starts and not kick on when you haven't played Test cricket for 8 years. Anyway, my fear is that when one of them goes, John, when the first wicket goes tomorrow, that Ollie Pope will immediately revert to bowling at the tail, because you've got a 9, 10, 11, and it'll be like, give Nair or Washington a single immediately, and it so often backfires. Do you know what I mean? And another 50 runs, another 50, 60 runs from the last 3 wickets could make a big difference, and I just hope that England actually back themselves to take the last 3 wickets. If and when they take the 7th, go 8, 9, 10 by playing proper cricket and not conceding singles to the set batsman.
Well, look, all I'm saying is every single time in the history of Test cricket Karun Nair has gone past 50, he's scored 300.
Right. Oh, okay. He's 52 not out.
Well, exactly. I was almost said Monga, and he was saying 400 is the score they need, and they were 90 odd for 3 at that stage. Well, 400. Yes, it could backfire. I just think that England don't need to win this game. There's still lots of time left in the game. Yes, we could see all that play out, but by hook or by crook, India have to get to 250. And I just got the feeling, Chris Woakes is one of the most respected men in international cricket, or players in international cricket. I think that England are really going to be suffering tonight if that injury is as we fear, and we have no news, but it looks like a dislocation. They're going to be flat when they come out tomorrow. It's going to be difficult for them to raise themselves, because, that's a huge blow on a personal level for England if Chris Woakes is ruled out of this Test match, which seems likely. And sad thing is that India need to kind of capitalise on that. And also it is an old ball, 64 overs.
Yeah.
So we've got 16 overs until the new ball, the second new ball. So that's going to be factored in, because Ollie Pope's going to have to start with Bethel, you'd think, at one end. And then, who's going to take it? It would be Atkinson and Tong to take the new ball. So then it'll be Overton starting up at the OCS end, Bethel at the pavilion,
some root,
possibly a bit of root as well. So that's a little game within the game, right? They've got to take that wicket, England, and there's still another batter at the other end. India, sad thing to say, will probably go in tonight thinking, you know what, our path to 250, dare I even say 275, is a little bit easier for all the wrong reasons, right? But that's the game, and India suffered in the last test with an injury, didn't they? So that's the game we play, and sadly that's where we find ourselves. If this game had finished at 6:30, none of that would have happened, and we'd all, whatever's going on. But I think India will come out with that in mind. Just got to take advantage of a very sad situation. Got to get to 250, 275. They're out for 220, 230. England are probably 80 for 1 by lunch.
Gone. Series over. Game over.
But we have been here before, haven't we? We've written India off. Not that we're writing them off.
No.
But just
no.
every single time we've thought this is too much now for India. Even at Lord's, they came so close. They have got the dog in them, right? So I think we're going to see some dog tomorrow. They need it.
I think that 250 might be a good score. Could be a good score. I've seen Mohammad Siraj bowl new ball spells of 325 too often on a pitch that's offering something. I think he's had, like all of the quick bowlers, he's had nothing to work with at all so far in the series, and I think that he might just shine. And if India can get 250, you say 275, I think 250 might be a good score. I'm not saying it will be, and I think England could still make, a lead of 100, as you said. But that is all in the future. Are we done?
I've just got one other thing to say. What is the chances of India winning this Test match out of 10? And they need to win. They have to win.
I have to go. Well, a percentage. I was going to say I have to go no more than 3 out of 10 at this stage.
So they've got a 30% chance of winning this Test match.
That's what I would say at this stage.
So they've lost 15 tosses in a row.
Yes.
That is a 1 in 32,768 chance. So
30% is pretty good then.
Stranger things have happened today.
They have 15 international tosses in a row that India have lost, and I'm told that is unprecedented. Not unprecedented is the fact that we'll be back with ball-by-ball commentary once again on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel just before 11 o'clock on Friday morning.